start then with the two forms of prayer. There are many forms of prayer, and it just depends on the direction that you want to take and the aspects of prayer that you want to look at. But two very basic forms of prayer are what we call the cataphatic prayer and the apophatic prayer. As you can see, the words are related. Cataphatic is from the Greek, and kata means according to, and phatic means form. Now, a form is any form, any expression, but it is a form, it is an expression. So cataphatic, that is according to form. Most of our prayer is cataphatic. When you say the rosary, when you read the divine office, when you say prayers, when you do any kind of vocal or even mental prayers, read or memorized or spontaneous, it's all cataphatic. And the thing about the cataphatic, I don't want to knock it because it's a wonderful thing and it's an absolutely necessary thing. But it has its drawbacks. You see, when you're speaking to God, or when you're speaking about God, the cataphatic form of prayer is just inadequate because God is beyond form. God is beyond words, ideas, thoughts, images, songs. None of them can actually express adequately who and what God is. And so cataphatic prayer at its best is imperfect. Now, I'm not saying it's imperfect in the way that it's no good, because it is good, it is prayer, and it always will be a very important kind of prayer in our lives. No matter how often we go beyond it into the next form of prayer, which we call the apophatic. Apophatic prayer is, you might say, the prayer of mystics. It's contemplative prayer. It's the form of prayer which is without form. That's what apophatic means. Apo is without, and phatic is without form. So apophatic prayer is prayer that ultimately goes in the direction of no form, no words, no ideas, no thoughts, no images, no memories, but just directly confronting God. So in apophatic prayer, or another word for it, by the way, is contemplative prayer. And another word for contemplative prayer, or at least one form of it, is centering prayer. So centering prayer is apophatic. Things like the rosary, stations of the cross, and so forth, are just spontaneously speaking to God, praying in tongues, whatever. These are all cataphatic. But the purpose, or one of the purposes of the cataphatic, is to lead to the apophatic. It's kind of like the doorway, because it's addressing God, but you might say imperfectly. And in the apophatic, in the contemplative expression, you are expressing God perfectly. There's just the immediate presence of you and God with nothing in between. So contemplative prayer or apophatic prayer is a direct confrontation with God without intermediaries, without any forms.